Hydraulic distribution water modeling using GIS. How does in-house water modeling help your department?
Well, the water model's helped us in a lot of different ways. On the macro scale, the water model has helped us to look at different water sources and how we can transport water from one side of the county to the demand areas, as well as perform cost estimates and make recommendations on which water source we should look at for long term. On the micro scale, make sure that we have infrastructure in place to meet the demands, including the water demands and the fire flows. And also it's allowed us to look at the system and determine where weaknesses are in the system and where we need to make improvements.
In our case, with new commercial buildings or new subdivisions, it helps us look at what available water is there and what our needs are as far as fire protection.
What challenges have you experienced with the water model, and how have you overcome these challenges?
When you say challenges, there's two aspects. One would be the technical challenges of actually getting the model to work and getting all the aspects in the model represent what we actually have in our system. The controls are very unique in some of the areas, and that's a challenge sometimes to actually put in the model to duplicate the actual controls that we have in the system. And then the interdepartmental coordination to make sure that the right folks are in the room to help make those judgments.
How has in-house water modeling changed communication between your department and other departments?
Definitely improved our communication between planning and public works as far as our need for water and fire protection and their need for drinking water. And the communication that we look at both of those.
Model is now part of the development process, part of the overall process. Whereas we're reviewing plans and specs, but we're also looking at water demands and fire needs and making sure that our infrastructure can meet those needs. Allowed us to successfully implement coordination meetings between the different departments.
How do you see the model being used in the future?
I see it being the standard we use for any project, commercial building or subdivision or any type of development that we do and use every time we do it.
Do you feel in-house water modeling is an effective way to use county resources?
An estimate on the table of for a $50,000 study by our consultant to look at generating a water model and making the runs in order to compare the alternatives for our water source evaluation. Since that time, the county has purchased a model and we've done it with staff in-house very well. I think we've accomplished that objective and also many others. The advantage in having it with county staff is that we don't have to rely on a consultant and pay him every time he makes a model run.
Before the water modeling, we would only get pieces of the information for that subdivision, and it didn't take into consideration the other variables in there, like the tank levels and where the other lines are, the future growth, or any future demand. It was really just looking at that particular area, and it has caused us issues before we started doing the modeling and putting all the variables in. But I think it allows us to get more accurate data than using outside resources, because we've got all the information in-house. We can put all that together and make a better model.
How can in-house water modeling be used for future growth?
The planning department recently did a long-term transportation study where they divided the county up into many small areas and did population projections in those areas. So we were able to take that data and then put it into our water model and associate water demands with that data and make our future long-term 20-year plan in cooperation with that model.
Would you recommend doing in-house water modeling to another municipality or county?
Absolutely. I think doing it in-house, like I said, gives us better, more accurate data and improves the communication of what we need to do as a county to improve our development.
Most definitely, I think our experience has been very positive, and it allows us to have much greater level of confidence in proceeding forward with developments and water source in general.
What is the real reason why you enjoy in-house water modeling and working with GIS?
Well, GIS typically has some of the best desserts in the county, and certainly a fresh pot of coffee every time I come in. So we use a water model as an excuse to make the trip over, but we all know what the real reason is.
Okay.